Carpeting is ruined. Anything in the basement is useless. Books were scattered. Even just 3 feet of water caused extensive damage.
With cars and everything else, probably $30,000 or more.
No doubt about it, 3 feet of water in your living room does make for a big mess, and they will have a lot to clean up. But just a few hundred feet away from their home, you can see another family will have several days before they get inside, and they'll have a much bigger mess to deal with. The Platts still need a boat to get to their house. Inside, 6 feet of water destroyed just about everything.
So much for the basement.
Worst thing I've ever been through in my life. Ever.
The Platts will start over, but many other families are hoping to clean up before the mud dries and salvage what they can.
I thought we'd probably lose everything, but there's hope, there for some of the things. We had a lot of antiques that hopefully they can be restored.
And with flood conditions like this all over town, that is no small statement. Two families, two very common situations. Unfortunately, they are among the first to get back in, so they are the first to open that door and see what's inside. Many of the people here in the shelter will have that opportunity over the next several days and perhaps into next week. Unfortunately, that will be played out many more times in the next few days. Charlie?
And Mark, beginning tomorrow, people can start applying for assistance?
That is correct. The number is 1-800-462-7585. It will be you will be able to call that number between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., and that will be, we are told, manned 7 days a week. So that is the number to call beginning tomorrow to get some help.
All right, that is Mark Keller reporting from Frankfort, Kentucky. Thanks very much, Mark. It's the Ohio River that's now becoming even more of a threat.
Meteorologist Dave Frazier has more from Storm Center 5. Dave?
Yeah, the crest not really expected until we get into the latter part of tomorrow, but it's not that far from as high as it will go. It stands at 63.2 right now. It's going to go to 64 feet at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Again, this is the highest we've seen it since 1964 when it hit a level of 66.2 feet. And again, flood stage is only 52. A couple other points along the Ohio to pass along to you. These are the current river levels as of a few hours ago at the Meldal Dam, 59.6, Maysville 59.9, and over at the Markland Dam it stands at 57.7. Here is a look now at the crest that we expect along those areas. 60.2 at the Markland Dam at 1 a.m. on Thursday. That'll be the last area for the crest. And then earlier, 7 a.m. Wednesday for both Maysville and the Meldal Dam. 61 feet at the Meldal Dam and 69 at Maysville. We will continue to watch the rivers. We have more rain on the way and the potential for flash flooding. I'll get to all of the details at 5:16 in my full weathercast. Back to Charlie and Carolina.
Okay, we will check with you then. There's anywhere from 300 to 400 people out of their homes in Silver Grove tonight.
And efforts to help them with clothing, food, and shelter are fortunately picking up. So much of this river town along Route 8 in Kentucky is heavily flooded. That includes the Lakeview Trailer Park, where dozens of mobile homes are vacant and badly damaged by the river. It may be several days yet before any of the people in this area will be allowed back into their homes. Some of those who remember the flood of '64 tell us this one is not quite so devastating, but it is close enough.
In Adams County, they're watching the rising Ohio River, which has already forced hundreds of people to flee their homes and closed dozens of businesses. Among the hardest hit towns is Manchester, right on the river. News 5 Chef Hirsch was there today with a man who knows the river very well.
I think we had it in '64, one about like this. I was 6 years old. I was in this same boat with my dad and my grandpa.
Rodney Yates is now helping others with this boat, even though he may need some help himself. Yates runs a marina upstream, part of which is now downstream.
It came down, it washed out my whole business. We caught the gas dock as it come down the river. It came 10 miles down before we got a hold of it. We went out with a boat, pulled it in the shore. Right now it's tied off out at the park.
Yates brought Life Squad member Mike Hansen back home by boat. Hansen had been gone for 3 days helping others with the ambulance. The house was waterlogged.
As bad as this is, virtually half the town underwater, it's only going to get worse when the water goes down. That's when the cleanup begins.
Rodney Yates will be here for that, too.
That's river life. If you're going to live on the river, you got to get used to it. I've been here all my life, 39 years, and I'm used to it.
Jeff Hirsch, Cincinnati's News 5.
And a shelter in Manchester is available again tonight at the high school.
Flooding is also forcing people out of their homes in Indiana. In Switzerland County, a few families have evacuated in the city of Patriot. Several people have also been forced out of Florence, and there have been evacuations along the river in Vevey. The flooding has shut down State Route 156 in Vevey and has closed part of State Route 56. Also, some evacuations are underway in Lawrenceburg. Lawrenceburg officials tell News 5 they are closing the 2 floodgates by the railroad tracks. Indiana Governor Frank O'Bannon has now declared an emergency in 10 Indiana counties, including Switzerland, Dearborn, and Ohio counties in our viewing area. In Kentucky, Governor Paul Patton has asked the president to declare 9 counties disaster areas, including Pendleton and Bracken counties. Late this afternoon, President Clinton approved the Kentucky request for federal aid. And in Ohio today, Governor George Voinovich added Claremont and Hamilton counties to the state's disaster list. President Clinton today signed declarations for the other 14 counties that had previously been declared state disaster areas. An update tonight on how flooding is going to affect, of all things, the circus.
As you can see from Sky 5, Marion Way is simply too flooded right now to get the animals to the Coliseum. An alternative route could have been Pete Rose Way, but that has shut down too. Because of the flooding, the circus is now canceled through Friday. Tickets are exchangeable for the weekend shows. Now, if the weekend shows end up getting canceled, tickets will be refunded. A major artery into the city is no longer passable tonight.
This is a big one. Part of Columbia Parkway was shut down today. The road is shut down from Delta to the Beachmont Levee. Motorists should take Eastern Avenue to the Beachmont Levee instead. It's tough getting in and out of the city of Cincinnati from the suburbs, especially the east side. Some road closings you need to know about. Kellogg Avenue is shut down from Eastern Avenue to 5 Mile Road. Route 32 is closed between Beachmont and Newtown. If you need to get into I-275, the ramps at 5 Mile are underwater. And Red Bank is closed at Wooster and Beachmont Circle.
Damage in Ohio alone is estimated at $35 million. In Kentucky, damage is roughly estimated at up to $232 million. News 5's Betsy Ross brings us more storm team coverage from Newport.
Check for any other propane tanks that might be floating back there.
The threat of explosion is just one of the dangers swept in by the rising Ohio River.
They should go out first opportunity that they get. When the water's coming up, just leave.
3-5, 359.
The Coast Guard is going door to door in Louisville to make sure that everyone is safe, because officials warn this is not a flood to try to wait out at home.
There's quite a bit of current in here. If you're not careful, you could be swept into that current.
Nearly a dozen southern Indiana counties are under a state of emergency. Hundreds of homes already have been lost to the flooding, and the water is still rising.
Sit here and watch and pray.
In Cincinnati, the streets nearest the river already are underwater, but the hardest hit is Falmouth, Kentucky, where residents barely had time to escape before their houses disappeared. But not everyone left willingly. 100-year-old Jewel Beckett wanted to stay. Her neighbors made her go.
I ended up here at a bus. They loaded me and brought me out, me a ticket.
All along the Ohio River Valley, families are reluctantly leaving their homes, not knowing what they will come home to when the waters finally recede.
And that was Betsy Ross reporting from Newport.
One lady's 100 years old, and they took her out kicking. Didn't want to go. Yeah, we're going to have continuing storm team coverage of Floodwatch 97 ahead on Cincinnati's News 5.
Ahead at 5:30, we'll take you to Brown County as the National Guard is brought in to aid the flood victims.
And at 6, the tragedies from the floods. We'll have a personal look at one of the people who lost their life in the flooding.
But first, a warning for the folks affected by the floods. Don't let scam artists turn you into a victim. We'll have important advice up ahead.
Plus, a wrap-up of the other news of the day, including the investigation into an accident.
Oh, I see you're looking at a bank.
A bank? This is a computer, sir.
To me, it's a bank. All of these are banks. A bank you can use at home, a bank you can take on a plane, a bank that can help you take control of your money.
With the Huntington Web Bank, you're in control. Have secure access to your account anytime you want. Check your balance, pay your bills, all through your computer.
Eddie, I'm going to take $100 off. $100 free.
You know, you can get this exact bank next door for a much better deal.
It's March in the tri-state. There's just one thing on everybody's mind. You're right, Chevy Madness. Because a Lumina test drive gets you a Chevy Madness basketball, no charge. Lumina's worry-free, especially for just $239 a month. Chevy Lumina, just $239 a month. And a Chevy Madness basketball, no charge, but only during Chevy Madness. So break away to your local Tri-State Chevy dealers now.
On the next Extra, that's the bus that always cuts you off, the guy who never signals, and the woman who can't find her accelerator. They'll never change, but you can. Extra shows you how to keep your cool and conquer road rage. Then, a little boy's brave struggle.
Keep our heart and our hero.
Thanks to a gift from his baby sister, he's beating cancer. It's the heartwarming tale of the little fighter. The story's only on Extra.
Tonight at 7 on Cincinnati's 5.
Come on, babe, I know a whoopee spot where the gin is cold, but the piano's hot. It's just a noisy hall where there's a nightly brawl and all that jazz.
Charge by phone 241-7469. A Fifth Third Bank Broadway Series presentation.
Cotton Mill Spring Cleanup. Matching bath towels, hand towels, washcloths, and fashion colors. $1 off each piece. Savings to 50%. Now at your nearby Cotton Mill store.
The flooding indirectly caused some big headaches and a double bang for a tri-state grain storage company.
2 silos owned by Cargill Grain ruptured in Anderson Township. All the workers were safely evacuated from the premises while firefighters were called to the Kellogg Road facility. A fire department spokesman says the rising floodwaters caused the grain to expand and split the 2 silos. No damage estimate yet, but no one was injured.
Arson. That's what investigators are identifying as the cause of a Newport fire. Newport firefighters were called to a vacant house at 941 Central Avenue at about 5:30 this morning. It's the 3rd fire reported at this address since last Thursday. Today's fire spread to an adjoining building at 939 Central Avenue, leaving both buildings heavily damaged. Fortunately, no one was injured. A nasty 3-car accident on I-75 this morning resulted in one man having to be cut out of his car. Cincinnati police say it happened around 9 o'clock on southbound I-75 at the 7th Street exit. Driver Charles Wintermeyer was taken to Good Samaritan Hospital where he was treated and released. One other driver was cited for making the improper lane change police say caused that pileup.
The mother of John Benet Ramsey has turned in a 3rd handwriting sample to police. The 6-year-old beauty queen was found strangled in her own home last December. Police are still trying to find out who wrote a ransom note that was left in the home and discovered by the mother. The Ramsey family has now issued an internet plea for police to clear the girl's half-brother in the investigation as prosecutors continue to check out his alibi.
The widow of Olympic wrestler David Schultz has filed a civil suit against millionaire John DuPont. DuPont was found guilty but mentally ill in the shooting death of David Schultz. Nancy Schultz is seeking compensatory and punitive damages. She did not specify any amount of money she is seeking.
And of course, here at home, a lot of folks are keeping an eye out on the weather as the Ohio continues to rise.
We'll have the updated forecast, and we'll look into other areas around the region that are trying to head off the floods.
And I'm Evelyn Robertson, live in Florence. The Storm Center 5 emergency support team is in action. I'll show you how you can join the team and help the flood victims at the same time when Cincinnati's News 5 continues.
Imagination. At Warner Cable, we know something about it. After all, we're part of Time Warner, the people who've been sparking imaginations for years. And now we're turning our imaginations into a new reality. The future. Warner Cable is now Time Warner Cable. Imagine what's next.
Do you need a first-quality used car or truck today? McCluskey has the answer.
I'm a first-time buyer without a cosigner. Can I get a car today?
Yes, you can.
I don't have a down payment, but I am due a tax refund. Can I get a car today?
Yes, you can.
But I only take home $150 a week. Can I get a car today?
Yes, you can. We'll even file your rapid refund tax return free of charge, and you can drive home in a McCluskey first-quality used car or truck today. Call McCluskey Chevrolet now at the one number, 761-1111.
At Carpetland, we back every carpet we sell with exceptional value. And now, while supplies last, you can get double the value during our incredible buy one, get one free sale. It's Carpetland's best sale of the year. Buy 1 yard of wear-dated carpet at our regular low price and get the second yard free. Wear-dated carpet gives you beautiful styles and colors for every decor with unsurpassed quality and durability. Hurry into Carpetland and every second yard is free with 6 months same as cash. Sale ends Monday, so hurry.
Cincinnati's News 5 weather, sponsored by Xavier University.
Have you ever considered how different your life could be if you had your college degree? The opportunities, the choices you would have. Through Xavier University's Center for Adult and Part-Time Students, you can attend classes and earn your undergraduate degree with students your own age during daytime or evening hours. Find out more about transcript evaluation and easy registration by scheduling a personal advising appointment. Call Xavier today at 745-3355.
And now we have some important information to pass along to flood victims.
Yeah, it's good information. The Kentucky Attorney General's office has issued tips on common scams that are pulled after a natural disaster. If someone is offering to do repair or cleaning work, check them out through the Better Business Bureau or Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division. For any work, insist on a written contract describing the work and its cost. Never pay up front. Also, beware of charities claiming they're collecting for victims. Check out the identities of the people claiming to represent charities and demand ID from people claiming to be government officials. Con artists may pose as building inspectors, ordering repairs they can do on the side.
Downriver in Louisville, volunteers are working on a massive effort to hold back the waters of the river. More than 50 trucks of sand, along with more than 150,000 bags, have been brought in to reinforce Louisville's flood wall. Officials don't know if they'll need all the bags, but they want to be prepared. Military police are moving into Manchester, Ohio. Police are guarding the homes that were evacuated because of the flooding. About 8,500 people call Manchester home. 2 remain missing since the flash floods first hit on Saturday.
Today, our cameras caught one person who is literally taking his life into his own hands. Look at this. The pictures tell the story. This kayaker was racing down the river with its currents. This video was shot near the Coliseum downtown this afternoon. We must stress this is extremely dangerous, and we do not advise anyone at home to try this. Remember, the river is high, running very fast. Its challenges could turn deadly. I would like to proclaim that gentleman nuts.
Stupid.
Yeah,
it was
both.
Yeah. Well, of course, the big concern now is whether we're going to get more rain.
Meteorologist Dave Frazier joins us from Storm Center 5. David?
Yeah, we are going to get a little more rain, unfortunately. And, you know, since midnight last night, we have not had any rain. I don't expect the rain to arrive till after midnight tonight. So that would give us our first dry day. I had to go back to March 25th to find the last completely 24-hour dry period. That means we've had rain for 6 consecutive days, today being the first dry one. And again, it is only a one-day break because more rain is on the way. Outside right now, boy, you talk about pictures telling the story. There's a picture that tells the story on Sky 5. You know you got problems when your buildings downtown are completely surrounded by water. Next, we're at Doppler 5 right now. The next area of rain doesn't look all that impressive. Here it is right here, a weak little band of rain off to our north and west. What you can't see on the radar picture just yet is the moisture that later on tonight will come streaming in here to set the stage for our next round of rain. Take a look at Super Doppler radar right now. I've got it looking out a little better than 100 miles, not picking up anything in the immediate area, but as we go through the late night hours tonight and tomorrow morning, check in with Julie Broski first thing in the morning, I think we'll start to pick up the rain moving into the area. And unfortunately, I think it's a 12-hour event starting right around 7 and lasting until we get into the evening hours. Now, how much rain can we get? Through Thursday, and again, it looks like it's an all-day Wednesday, but through Thursday morning, we could see between 1/4 of an inch across most of the tri-state, and then over the hardest hit areas, as much as 1/2 an inch, with even more, maybe 1 1/4 inches further south and east of that area. Now, here is what we use as the guidance, the flash flood guidance, to determine whether or not we will have flash flooding problems. Because this area in green is completely saturated, the ground is just so soaked, it cannot take any more moisture. Here's what we're going to use for the guidance. If 1/4, about 1/4 of an inch of rain falls in 1 hour over any given area, there can be flash flooding problems. If 9/10 of an inch of rain falls in a 6-hour period, there can be flash flooding problems. So it's all going to depend on how this rain comes down. Does it come down widespread? Does it come down at an even pace and allows it to get into the grounds and doesn't affect the rivers? Or does it come down in a burst and therefore causing some flash flooding problems? Well, the National Weather Service right now has put out a flash flood watch for Brown, Adams, and for Highland County because They believe the rain will come down at such a pace to cause more problems in south central Ohio. We will keep you posted as the rain moves in. Here's your forecast now for the evening. Just a few clouds around there. Sun broke through the clouds. We're going to keep the skies clear as long as we can. Temperature at about 50 degrees. As we go through the nighttime, unfortunately, the clouds roll back in again. I don't expect the rain to arrive till after midnight. We drop to 45. In the morning, the showers are out there. It will turn breezy. And as we go through the afternoon, we got rain back in the forecast. Could be heavy, especially south and east of the metro. We top at 51 early, and then late in the afternoon, the temperatures will drop steadily. Thursday and Friday, another shot to dry out here. Both days, it'll be a cold one on Thursday. Friday, we will warm out to end out the work week. And by Saturday and Sunday, another chance of showers. And for those that have to work and have maybe been flooded out and are thinking they've got a weekend ahead to go home and kind of clean up, it doesn't look like you're going to get the best weather to do that in.
Well, that's a shame.
No break inside is the way I look at it.
There is a heartwarming part to this story,
Well,
and we're going to do that now. Thousands of you have joined our Storm Team 5 emergency support team to bring aid to the flood victims. News 5, B105, Walmart, and Plains Move-In Storage have joined forces to move tons of supplies into the flood-ravaged areas. Let's go to News 5's Evelyn Robertson live at Walmart in Florence to find out how this small army of volunteers is making out. Evelyn?
Well, it's been going just great. You know, this truck, when we first got here about 2 hours ago, they were just starting to fill it up. And I don't know if you can see too well behind me, but I'd say it's about a third to a half full already. And that's because people have been coming in a steady stream. They're backing in their cars and trucks, unloading tons of canned goods, clothes, bottled water. And Walmart employees who are loading the truck up are happy to take it all. Now, this is the third truck to be filled out here, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is filled to capacity by 9 o'clock tonight. Now, people are gladly giving out of the goodness of their hearts.
You see the water all the way up to the rooftops, and you know they've lost everything.
Just to help those people out, because I'm in a high and dry place, and, you know, it's just my heart to help whenever I can do it.
So you're feeling fortunate?
Oh, yes, very.
Okay, and back out here at the Walmart, remember, there are trucks in front of 5 Walmarts in the tri-states, and here are the locations for you. The collection for Hamilton County is going on at the Fields Erdel store in Governor's Plaza. Collections for Claremont, Brown, and Adams County go to the Eastgate store in Eastgate Plaza. Grant and Kenton go to the Florence store right here. And Campbell and Pendleton counties, you can drop off supplies at the Alexandria Walmart. If you live in Dearborn County, go to the Walmart store in Aurora at the Walmart Supercenter. Again, that's 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. through Sunday. And I just want to assure everyone that their donations will get to where they're going to, the flood victims. Back to you.
Evelyn, it is nice to see all those folks amidst all this devastation. Thanks very much. That is Evelyn Robertson reporting live from Florence.
Much more to come on News 5 at 5. Can the city where you live help determine if you're thin or fat? Well, wait until you hear about a new report.
Plus, a water boil advisory in our area due to the flooding. We'll tell you who's affected. Stay with us.
Get ready for a whole new kind of barbecue. Honey Barbecue Tender Roast from KFC.
Lips smacked and tongue tickling, honey, you're the one. Ooh, this new barbecue, it's finger-licking fun.
Our juicy tender roast chicken, tangy honey barbecue sauce. When these two get together, it's finger-licking fun.
It's finger-licking fun, baby, listen to me. Everybody needs a little KFC.
He had it coming.
He had it coming.
And if you'd have been there, I bet you would have done
241-7469, a Fifth Third Bank Broadway Series presentation.
Hey, there's a big benefit when you see your Ford dealers right now. Big savings.
Right now, get $1,000 cash back or 3-9 financing on Ford Taurus. That's $1,000 cash back or 3-9 financing on Taurus. Or get $1,000 cash back or 3-9 financing on Ford Escort. That's $1,000 cash back or 3-9 financing on Escort. Hurry, $1,000 cash back or 3-9 financing on a new Taurus or Escort ends soon.
See your tri-state quality Ford dealer, where there's more to afford.
For the fun time of their lifetime, enroll your children in the Goddard Summer Camp. There's swimming, horseback riding, kite flying, trips to the zoo, and much, much more. For a Goddard summer your children will never forget. Call 1-800-GODDARD.
Cincinnati's News 5 Healthcast, sponsored by Revco.
At Revco, your trust has always been important to us. And just as you trust our pharmacies, you can also trust the quality of Revco brand products.
Revco brands are found in every aisle of our store. Each one is top quality, as good as any national brand, yet you'll pay only about half as much. And if you're not satisfied, we'll refund your money.
Revco, a friend for life.
This was, of course, inevitable. The flooding is affecting several water supplies around the tri-state region.
New Richmond has now issued a boil advisory. Health officials say you need to bring your water to a rolling boil 3 to 5 minutes before using it. The Cincinnati Health Department also has issued safety tips for people affected by water advisories. Officials recommend that until the public water supply in your area is declared safe, water for drinking or cooking should be brought to a vigorous boil for 10 minutes.
Jessica Dubroff was the 7-year-old girl who was attempting to be the youngest person to fly a plane across the country. Today, the government released the official report on the crash that killed the girl, her father, and her instructor. Preliminary findings suggest the plane was overweight when it took off last April. The investigation also finds there are indications that the flight instructor was at the controls when the plane went down. Since the tragedy, Congress has issued bans at record-setting attempts by unlicensed pilots.
Here's food for thought. Can a city make you fat? Well, a new study finds Ohio's largest cities have obesity rates that are the highest in the nation. Cleveland comes in 5th, Columbus 7th, and Cincinnati 8th. The Coalition for Excess Weight Risk Education looked at 33 cities. Restaurant-rich New Orleans came in number 1. Surprise, surprise. The study found cold winter weather could be a factor in putting on the pounds. Nothing else to do but stay inside and eat, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, it's taken a lot more than a helping hand to get flood victims out of Brown County.
The floods have turned deadly here in Brown County. I'm Darrell Carver. I'll have an update on the recovery efforts.
Also ahead, the waters continue to rise in neighboring Indiana counties.
And some relief may be in sight between emergency crews and sunnier skies. Victims may find some much-needed help.
Quench your thirst for savings and make the Mart your next stop for Pepsi. Generation Next. All varieties of Pepsi products are featured at Ameristop. Pick up a 12-pack today. Remember to shop the Mart for milk. It does a body good. Plus, the savings are good when you're in the mood for a gallon of Ameristop milk. Produced locally by Trout Dairy.
Trout Dairy has done it again. Introducing new fat-free milk. A 2% taste, but with 0 fat grams. 0 fat, a great 2% taste, and more. Fat-free is fortified with 500 milligrams of calcium per serving. Calcium fortified. Trout also added Plus AB, the active cultures for active lifestyles. Calcium and Plus AB with 0 fat grams. Try new great-tasting fat-free milk from Trout. A really good product that's really good for you and me.
This is the sound of small businesses doing more business with Fridays free. They're doing more because thanks to Sprint, all their long distance on Fridays is free. While the rest of the week, they're still getting Sprint's low flat rates. Even better, call now and get Fridays free until the year 2000 with no term commitment. Call 1-800-598-5000 for Fridays free. Only from Sprint Business.
What you gonna do with all the cash you save?
Brakes need work? Stop at your local CarX. You'll save a bundle during our half-off brake sale. Lifetime guaranteed brake shoes and pads are now half off. That's 50% off when you drive into CarX for brakes now.
What you gonna do with all the cash you save?
So stop by CarX for big savings on brake shoes and pads. But you better hurry. Our half-off brake sale will be half over before you know it.
Save a bundle, call the CarX man.
You're watching WLWT, Cincinnati's 5. This is News 5 at 5:30.
Dump trucks and sandbags were not enough. The governor calls the National Guard in to help rescue people from the flood. One person is feared dead in Brown County as the result of this week's floods. Good evening, everyone. I'm Caroline Thaw.
And I'm Curtis Fuller. Many folks there are still holding their breath, waiting for floodwaters to recede. There, the National Guard pitched in with relief efforts, but the task is very huge. Up to 500 buildings in that county have been damaged. News 5's Darrell Carver shows us how people in small river communities have pulled together.
For Mark and Francis Porter, this was the first time they've set foot in their own house after 2 days in a Red Cross shelter. They live on higher ground than most, but neighbors down the street weren't so fortunate.
A lot of people's running. And a lot of trailers getting jerked out and put everywhere. I mean, they're scattered all over Aberdeen just to get them out away from the water.
Today, many of those neighbors had to pull together to battle rising water.
Up over behind me was the Aberdeen Trailer Park, right along the riverbank here, and then we got a city park right on down the street from that is completely underwater.
Near that park lives Leo Thomas. Unfortunately, he can't pick up and move his house. His street's already underwater, and now it's creeping up his steps.
I get the backwater from the creeks that's overflowed, and then I got in the front, I have the river that's overflowed.
Same story, different town, right up the road in Ripley. Street you see behind me is called Pond Drive, and right now it's unfortunately more than living up to that name. And this used to be Ripley's downtown. 30 businesses here are now underwater. That's not to mention the numerous homeowners still waiting for the river to crest. It's at a time like this that the porters give thanks for higher ground. Daryl Carver, Cincinnati's News 5.
Now tomorrow, Federal Emergency Management will come and take a look at the damage in both towns. As many as 60 homes in Ripley are damaged by water. More than 50 homes in Aberdeen were damaged.
Tri-Staters are responding with generous donations to flood victims tonight, but getting that material to those who need it is a big job. News 5's Mark Kaler joins us from Falmouth with more on that operation. Mark?
That's right, Caroline. You can see the end result behind me here. They are feeding dinner tonight to the folks here at the Pendleton County High School shelter. That's the end result, but there's an awful lot of work that goes into getting this food here and getting it prepared. And believe me, a lot of people are putting in 18-hour days to get that job done. Williamstown's fire station is now a clearinghouse for donations. Now, I hesitate to use the word warehouse because these items simply don't stay there very long. They're loaded up and taken on very circuitous routes to various parts of Butler and Falmouth that are otherwise unreachable by the traditional routes. Now, contrary to some rumors, the southern sections of Falmouth are getting these items, and the needs are coming into focus.
The only thing we don't need anything of is like paper goods, like toilet paper, paper towels. Bottled water is our big, I'd say, highest commodity we need the most of. We're sending out, we've already sent out 2 truckloads of water, and we got 1 more coming. So bottled water is the biggest thing.
Now, I've just literally in the past few minutes been handed this list from the people here at the shelter. These are things they say they need the most. I'm going to read it very quickly because it is fairly long. So if you hear something that I mentioned that you can supply, that might be something you can begin to look at. Now, they need plastic gloves, hand cleanser, deodorant, Desitin, Q-tips, shampoo, feminine products, baby powder, baby shampoo, Pedialyte, money donations, of course, baby wipes, hand wipes and towelettes, towels, Mylanta, Imodium AD, ketchup, pepper, mustard, sugar, mayo, flour, salt, and underwear, both men's and women's underwear. It's a rather lengthy list, but these are the very practical things that they need in these shelters to get through the next few days, Caroline.
Yeah, we cannot stress enough it is the bare necessities we're looking for. Thank you, Mark Kaler, reporting live from Falmouth, Kentucky. They're cracking down on flooded parts of Campbell County tonight.
Only people who live in Silver Grove along Kentucky Route 8 are being let in. Even so, not everyone can get to their home or trailer. That's how bad it is. And that's the area we want to show you now.
I'm John London on the flooded river that has overtaken the river town of Silver Grove. I'm on the boat of firefighter Jerry Allender, and from this vantage point, you can see what this community is suffering with from this damaging flood. Trailers, trucks, cars, basements, first floors, a watery cover from this flood. We had to climb a fence, cross a muddy field, and walk blocks just to get here. One woman telling us just head for the mess. Go this way and head for the mess, and a mess it is. Well over 300 people evacuated. The whole west side of Silver Grove flooded out. The east side with water in the basements, and authorities are advising everyone here to boil water and are telling sightseers to stay out. Please stay out because they don't want a crowd here. You can see the kind of problems that they are dealing with. Cleanup is going to be a monumental task here in Silver Grove, but it can't come too soon for the people in this Campbell County community. I'm John London in Silver Grove.
And John adds that it may be Saturday at the earliest before some people will be able to get back into their homes and trailers right there in Silver Grove.
The high water prompted federal officials to close off a large portion of the Ohio River to commercial traffic today. The Army Corps of Engineers closed the river from just downstream of Cincinnati all the way to Louisville. The flooding sidelined a number of barges along the river. No word when the river will be reopened. Indiana's governor declares 10 counties emergency areas today. That's a warning to residents that flooding could get worse. Take a look at Dearborn County in Indiana. These are aerial shots of that county practically underwater today. But one business, the Argosy Casino in Lawrenceburg, says it's staying open. Floodwaters are expected to rise throughout southern Indiana this week.
When the weather is this bad, you really have to count your blessings. We're lucky enough to have dry weather in most of the tri-state today. Can we look forward to more of the same? Meteorologist Dave Frazier has the latest from Storm Center 5. Dave?
I think I got the worst job today, Curtis, when it comes to talking about more rain in the forecast. Today is a dry day. It will stay that way till midnight. It is our first dry day in 6 days, but it is a one-day event because more rain is on the way. Take a look now at live Super Doppler radar scanning the skies at over 150 miles. Nothing out there yet, but I think after midnight tonight, we will start to see rain pushing in from the south and west. How much rain? Another quarter to a half an inch over some very soaked areas that don't need it, and an inch possible as we get further south and east of the metro. There could be some flash flooding to deal with tomorrow. I'm going to talk about that and give you a complete 5-day forecast coming up at 5:47. Curtis?
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. Well, the Ohio River has now spilled onto downtown streets. All streets south of 3rd Street in downtown Cincinnati are closed to traffic. What is this damage doing to the downtown district? News 5's Betsy Ross is live in Newport with the very latest. Betsy?
Well, Curtis, we can give you an up-close look at just what this water is doing. We are here along Riverboat Row in Newport. Of course, there should be a street out here, and there is under about 10 feet of water or so. But this is Riverboat Row. Of course, all these restaurants here along the river, they have been closed for the last few days just because of the high water, and that water is still rising. You talk about the water that is in downtown Cincinnati. Those streets have been closed off now for a day or so. Of course, the problem is once the waters recede, then you have to worry about what kind of damage that this water caused to some of the infrastructure. What it's done to some of the bridges, you have to worry about how they are holding up with all this water. And of course, the streets themselves. As we see every winter, the streets are battered anyway because of the bad weather, because of heat and then cold. Now they have this water on top of that. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of damage we will see once all this flooding is gone, exactly how everything held up. Now, if you were with us, about 45 minutes ago or so, you might remember that we checked here when we got here first at 11:30. Our crew's been here since 11:30 this morning. When we first got here, we came down here at the river and we put a drinking straw right by the level of the water where it was at 11:30 this morning. Now, about 45 minutes ago, we checked and there was about an inch of that straw showing. You can see right about now there's only about a half inch of that straw showing. So you can see just how quickly this water is rising. In fact, the straw almost disappeared right there. So that gives you an idea of just in the last 5 hours or so, it's been enough to almost cover that drinking straw. That shows you just how quickly the water is rising here in this area, Curtis.
Betsy, I know that they're trying to keep a lot of people away from that area. What's being done to make sure that people, sightseers, just stay away?
Honestly, Curtis, there's been a lot of warnings, but it's not doing any good. Jim, my photographer, will pan up here along the flood wall, and you can see, you know, people are out of school now, and people are coming home from work, and they're bringing the families down, and they're seeing what the river looks like. There have been many warnings, as you have talked about, and we've talked about on the news the last couple of days, that the police, city managers are telling people, please don't do this, because police have a hard enough job just trying to keep things going with all this water. People are still going to come down. They're bringing their cameras. Yes, it is history, but it's also dangerous, especially for people who get as close to the water as we are.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot. Betsy Ross reporting live from Newport, Kentucky.
Well, you've seen the damage. Now find out how you can be part of the solution.
Up next, Storm Team 5's emergency support team helps flood victims out of a crisis.
That's right. I'm Evelyn Robertson, live in Florence. We're getting a lot of donations coming in. Coming up, I'll show you how they're being distributed and getting to the people who need it most. For Cincinnati's News 5 continues.
Florence Buick GMC purchased TL Christian, but GM refuses to ship any additional cars or trucks until Florence Buick GMC sells the existing inventory. So Florence Buick GMC is cleaning house. Every new car in stock, 99 cents over factory invoice. We'll show you any invoice. You pay us just 99 cents more than we paid Buick, and any car in stock is yours until present inventory is gone. Florence Buick GMC, 2 minutes off I-75 at exit 181, Florence.
99 cents for 5 nuggets?
99 cents!
Did you know Wendy's 5-piece chicken nuggets are just 99 cents every day?
Excuse me?
This price is every day?
That's right.
Dave is proud to present 5 crispy chicken nuggets for 99 cents every day.
99 cents, it's not going to change?
This is not like for a week.
I don't know what to say.
That's a good nugget.
What a bargain.
Good deal.
That's white meat. Ah! 5 nuggets for 99 cents.
Never seen a chicken deal that good. It's quite possibly the best deal in chicken.
It's worth crossing the road for.
Cincinnati's 5 wants to help local schools get the tools they need.
As part of our Operation Education project, we've made a commitment to help match area schools with individuals or companies who have equipment to donate.
Computers, books, and other badly needed supplies can be donated to any local school program.
If you have a need or if you have an item to donate, call the Feedback 5 phone line at 352-5555 for more information on tools for schools.
He had it coming.
He had it coming.
And if you'd have been there,
I bet you would have done
241-7469, a Fifth Third Bank Broadway Series presentation.
So I get this mail from Progressive saying they have a smart new way to shop for auto insurance.
Progressive, can I help you?
They give you their rates plus the rates of several other companies. I wonder whose rates are going to be lowest.
It looks like you could save over $200 if you went with...
What? You're an insurance company?
Hey, we know how hard it is to shop for auto insurance. A lot of times we're the lowest. Sometimes we're not.
That's not what I expected from an insurance company. And then he said, well, maybe you should.
Call 1-800-AUTO-PRO or your authorized independent agent.
Of course, the effort to help those in need is in full swing tonight.
It sure is, and we've been talking a lot about this. It's called Storm Team 5's Emergency Support Team. Thousands of Tri-State residents are joining our team effort. And beginning early this morning and throughout the day, I got a first-hand look at folks really getting involved.
We haven't even decided to total up this bowl yet.
There was a willing spirit of giving to help folks hit hard by area flooding. Susie Stowe of Florence showed that spirit. She brought in many items and then purchased others right here at Walmart. She understands this problem. Some of her family members were hit by the floods.
Unless you've been through it yourself, I think some people just really don't know what to do.
Get the current out of the way.
Literally hundreds and hundreds of people dropped off items. This really is a team effort.
I have a lot of neighbors who are homeless now. Their homes literally washed away, and it's just horrifying.
B105, Walmart, News 5, and Plains Moving and Storage are spending the next few days being a part of the solution to what is a tragic problem. Someone who knows all about being a team player, Bengals great Bruce Kozerski.
These people bounce back. It's just human nature. But they need a helping hand right now.
And Bruce says it best. Folks need a helping hand. And this is something we're going to do for the next several days at 5 Walmart locations all around the tri-state.
You know, it's kind of like a silver lining to a disaster. Donations are coming in at a steady pace. Let's go live to the Walmart in Florence right now, where News 5's Evelyn Robertson continues our live Flood Watch 97 coverage. Evelyn?
Well, Caroline, this is going like clockwork out here. Let me show you how it works. People just come from their cars, or they pull their car up here, like this woman has just done, open up the trunk and unload whatever they have, their boxes, their bags, bring them over here, and they leave them on the back of the truck, and Jim here picks it up and loads it to the front. I'm telling you, a truck just like this, actually filled to the brim, left here at 3:30 this afternoon. It arrived at St. Vincent de Paul in Crescent Springs, and everybody there was able to unload tons of donations, whether it's bottled water or clothing. All of this is going to be delivered to 11 counties in northern Kentucky. Now, there are several trucks just like this, don't forget, but we're just trying to show you how this is working. The St. Vincent de Paul, in fact, has expanded its hours of operation in order to get things to these counties, and this will be going on like this all week. I want you to understand that these Walmart locations, these trucks, are going to bring these supplies, your donations, to clergy, firefighters, and emergency services, and those people know exactly where to bring these supplies. Back to you in the studio.
Okay, thanks a lot, Evelyn. Again, Evelyn Robertson reporting live, and to give you an idea, that was a 45-foot truck the 45-foot trucks that are filling up there. A lot of donations coming in. Curtis?
Yeah, it really is amazing out there. And again, as we want to point out, you can join our Storm Team 5 emergency support team and really help families devastated by the floods. As we said earlier, News 5, in cooperation with Plains Moving and Storage, Walmart, and B105 are gathering donations. Just drop off supplies at one of the 5 locations. Here they are. Governor's Plaza, Walmart, at 9365 Fields Erdel Road in Cincinnati. The other is Eastgate Plaza, Walmart, at 4370 Eastgate Square. Walmart, Florence, that's 4999 Houston Road in Florence, Kentucky. That's where Evelyn was. Village Green, Walmart, at 6711 Alexandria Pike. That's over in Alexandria, Kentucky. And then Walmart Super Center, that's at 100 Sycamore Estates Drive in Aurora, Indiana.
The floodwaters have closed a number of tri-state streets.
Yeah, up next, we'll continue our coverage of those closings, this time on northern Kentucky roads.
And this isn't the first time Cincinnati has seen such disaster. Up next, Cincinnati's flood history. Stay with us.
It's Cotton Mill's annual spring cleanup sale featuring name brand products from one of America's largest mills. Matching bath towels, hand towels, and washcloths in fashion colors, $1 off each piece. Savings up to 50%. Selected kitchen towels, 4 for $3. Assorted pot holders, 3 for $1. Selected oven mitts, 4 for $3. Washcloths, $3.96 a dozen. Hollow fill pillows starting at $7. There are bargains galore at your nearby Cotton Mill store.
We were looking for our first refrigerator.
I needed a new washer and dryer.
We remodeled our entire kitchen.
When these people needed new appliances, they knew just where to go. Circuit City. Circuit City has the best top brands and guaranteed low prices. And right now, all appliances are on sale. Save on refrigerators, washers, dryers, and microwaves from Whirlpool, Maytag, GE, and more. When you need new appliances, there's only one place to go.
Circuit City.
You can't get a lower price. We guarantee it.
The big hitters of the PGA Tour are about to get some help. Peter Jacobsen has a new coach. Jeff Maggart's getting strategy tips. And Mark O'Mara's taking lessons from a pro. They're playing with a team of independent financial advisors. And starting now with Charles Schwab, the official investment firm of the PGA Tour. Innovative tools, a network of advisors, so no matter how things go off the tee, someone is helping take care of the green. Visit any Schwab branch and get investing the way it should be.
Cincinnati's News 5 weather, sponsored by Heater Meals, the meal with a stove inside.
Where are you going to eat your heater meals today?
Anywhere I'm working. Heater Meals heats itself.
Everything to heat and eat your heater meals is right in the box, including the water that starts the heater. In minutes, you've got a piping hot 3/4 pound heater meals.
Great hot food, anytime I'm hungry.
Heater meals equal more time for me.
6 delicious heater meals. Where are you going to eat your heater meals today?
You know, as bad as this flooding has been, and it has been so horrible for so many families, it has actually been worse.
Yeah, history has a way of putting things in perspective, and meteorologist Dave Frazier is with us to give us a little bit of that perspective.
And it's tough to put it into perspective and tell people that it's been worse when they're out there battling it as they are right now. You know, raging floods and the devastation that comes with them are not new to the tri-state. News 5's meteorologist Todd Warren has a look now at the history of the mighty Ohio.
As with many river cities, Cincinnati has suffered a history of floods. Snowstorms and heavy rains pounded the tri-state in March of last year. Anderson Township had flooded roads and high water signs were posted for drivers. This aerial view of the flooding in 1995 shows the impact of the swollen Ohio River. For many years in tri-state history, March has roared like a lion with rushing floods. The flood of 1964 is memorable among them, but none compared to the flood of 1937, which began in the end of January and caused massive flooding for 19 days. Water rose to nearly 80 feet. The Coast Guard launched rescue boats from 3rd and Vine Streets. Of the 350 square miles of Hamilton County, 45 miles were underwater. Remarkably, only 8 people lost their lives.
And again, the Ohio continues to rise at this hour, a very challenging situation for those situated along its banks. Take a look at the latest information that we have now on the Ohio. At Cincinnati, it stands at a little better than 63.2. As a matter of fact, the update now is 63.29 feet It is expected to crest at 64 feet at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, about 24 hours, a little more than 24 hours from right now. And again, this is the worst flooding we have seen since 1964, as Todd indicated, when it hit 66.2 feet. Next, rad Doppler 5 showing the rainstorm that is going to bring us additional moisture to the area. Rain we do not need. It does not look like much right now, but on ahead of this weak little storm system, the atmosphere later tonight on a southwesterly wind will become saturated once again, setting the stage for the potential of what could be some heavy rain. So here's how it plays out. The clouds have broken up. We've had some sunshine through the evening. I think we keep a few clouds around tonight, but they increase as we go through the late evening hours. And again, on a southwesterly wind, the moisture returns. The rain is not far off to our south and west. After midnight tonight and towards daybreak tomorrow, the rain will develop, first as showers and then becoming a more steady rain across the area as the storm system pushes through the region. How much rain are we looking at across the area as this storm system pushes through on the day? Well, it looks like we could see as much as an inch or an inch and a quarter far to the south and east, not over the areas that got hit hard this last round, but even over them, there is the potential for as much as a half an inch. And if you pick up an isolated thunderstorm, you can just throw this out the window because thunderstorms don't have any rules as far as rainfall potential. They can drop as much as they can in an hour, maybe 2 inches in an hour. We'll keep an eye on thunderstorms. Right now, because of the potential for that heavy rain, Brown, Adams, and Highland County in our area are under a flash flood watch for the day Wednesday, so it's not over yet. Take a look at the forecast for your evening hours, just a few clouds around and 50 degrees. It is a mild evening out there, but as we go through the late night hours, the clouds increase. The rain arrives after midnight. We drop to 45. In the morning, showers as you commute out. It will be breezy as well, and during the afternoon, we top out at 51 early, but then temperatures fall. The rain could be heavy at times, and again, we'll keep you posted on the flash flooding. Take a look at the next 5 days. We only got a one-day break from the rain today. Our next break comes on Thursday and Friday before we get a few more showers around on Saturday and Sunday. And just 24 hours ago, we were talking about only a quarter of an inch for the tri-state for rain. We have now upped that, obviously, to a half. We will have to very seriously watch the weekend rain, which doesn't look significant, but could change as we get closer.
Okay, it keeps coming.
Yep.
Thanks, Dave. We've been telling you for the past hour and a half about a long list of roads closed around the area because of the flooding. Northern Kentucky is no exception. All streets north of 2nd Street in Newport and Covington are closed to traffic. That includes Riverboat Row. And now the brand new Taylor-Southgate Bridge has been closed to traffic because the Ohio end is underwater. As you can see from Sky 5, the base of that bridge isn't all that's underwater. So is most of Pete Rose Way. You're asked to avoid this area if possible, and please use your common sense while driving near low-lying areas. Also closed tonight is a large section of Route 8 in Boone County.
We're going to shift gears now. The Bengals looked over some free agents today.
And there's a new guy in the Bengals broadcast booth. Sports News is up next.
Morning drive, sports anchoring.
If you see news happening, call 352-5011 or star TV5 on your AirTouch cellular phone.
Pizza Hut employee memo number 13, public speaking. Well, it's time to talk about something other than our great pizza.
Vacation.
No, dinner. And telling folks that we're the place to get it. So tell them what you want them to do.
Call now.
Let's work on that delivery.
Call now.
That's better.
Call now.
All together now.
Call now.
Shout it from the rooftops.
For insurance purposes, maybe that's not such a good idea.
Call now.
Great. Now stand by the phones and get ready. Because with pizza like this, you're going to get lots of calls. Making it great again and again.
Have you heard about the newest and smartest way to buy carpet? It's buying direct from the factory at Bigelow Carpet Factory Outlet right here in Cincinnati. We are the factory outlet, so you save 20 to 70% off traditional retail every day. Plus, through this month only, you'll get special factory financing with no payments, no interest for 6 months. Carpet shipments arrive almost daily with over 2,000 colors and styles in stock. You've never bought carpet like this before, and remember, no payments, no interest for 6 months. Bigelow Carpet Factory Outlet, 3100 West Gulbert at Coleraine.
Here's some folks to tell you why the Ford Contour is such a great car. I shopped around and I like all the safety features of my Contour.
I knew that it did have airbags, which was important to me.
I got an excellent deal on my Contour.
Now, get a Ford Contour with $1,350 cash back or 3-9 financing.
I have plenty of room, though, to take passengers, definitely. Usually it fits about 5 comfortably.
See your Tri-State Quality Ford dealer, where there's more to afford.
I love my Contour so much, I married the salesman.
Education has to be number one. I want the best for my son.
The one thing that parents of Sylvan children have in common is the value they place on education.
I have to decide what he's going to benefit from most in the long run.
When a child leaves Sylvan Learning Center, that child has the self-confidence and the skills to succeed.
Sylvan is worth every penny because I've seen the difference in his grades. And that's what, we both wanted.
I love it because I see success every day.
Sylvan Learning Center, now enrolling for SAT. Call 1-800-EDUCATE today. That's 1-800-EDUCATE.
Shopping for free agents in the NFL is a lot like shopping for a used car. The players have had enough time to prove they're not a lemon. Now you have to check under the hood and make sure the parts aren't too worn. The Bengals were doing that today. They had Patriots linebacker Todd Collins and Seahawks cornerback Corey Harris in today.
For me, it went really well. It was a really good situation. I felt comfortable. I feel like the organization is going up. I have the talent to get to the big dance. A defensive coach who has developed a defense that is still trying to be figured out. And so a head coach who, in his stint last year was 7-2. So to me, everything was all positive.
So I played in the 3-4 inside linebacker position, 3 years with Parcells in that defense. So I've got some experience at that. And so, it's exciting, but let's just hope things can work out the way both sides would like.
We wouldn't have had him in here unless we're interested. You know how we work. We're not going to have a free flight for anybody.
Yes, the frugal Bengals. Also today, the Bengals introduced their new play-by-play man. Pete Arbogast will be the voice of the Bengals this coming season. Pete's the former play-by-play announcer for the University of Southern California and the LA Clippers in the NBA. Arbogast and Dave Lapham will team up to bring the games on Score 1160 and B105. And coming up at 6, we're going to check out spring training. The Reds down there trying to snap a 3-game losing streak today.
Okay.
All right.
Look forward to it. Thanks a lot.
George. Wire Live team coverage of Flood Watch 97 continues.
Up next on News 5 at 6 o'clock, school closings, road closings, and the latest weather forecast.
I'm John London on about 15 feet of water right now in Silver Grove, and you can see the flooded out trailers behind me. How one community copes. Coming up on Cincinnati's News 5.
Dan.
Well, the American Red Cross is offering counseling services to help flood victims deal with all they've lost and all they have to rebuild. More than 40 social workers, counselors, and psychiatrists can be reached by phone at 1-800-517-2828. Or if you have a computer, you can log in to this website. Here's the address. It's www.redcross.org/OH/Cincy.
In other news, a former chief of staff for Governor Voinovich is being told to keep his mouth shut. Paul Mifsud's attorney is advising him not to talk to state agencies about alleged shady business dealings. His attorney says he is just trying to protect his client. Mifsud is being investigated for allegedly taking lucrative state contracts in exchange for campaign contributions for the governor and personal favors for himself.
Well, this is a tragic story. A mother in the mid-Ohio town of Canfield is in critical condition this morning after allegedly drowning her 3-year-old twins in the bathtub and then stabbing herself. Police say Annette Gencola called her husband at work and told him she had drowned the twins. John Gencola then found his wife on the kitchen floor with a knife wound in her chest. Police say Mrs. Gencola has been seeing a psychiatrist for depression.
Now for a check of headlines from around the nation. A new report this morning that suggests that China may have plotted to influence American politics with illegal campaign contributions. The Washington Post is reporting that 6 members of Congress were warned by the FBI that they might be the target of illicit contributions. China allegedly established a $1.8 million fund to influence U.S. elections. A spokesperson for the Chinese embassy says no such plan existed. A Raleigh, North Carolina newspaper is reporting that there were warning signs before a soldier staged a deadly sniper attack at the Fort Bragg Army base 3 years ago. The report says that Sergeant William Kreutzer shot 19 of his fellow soldiers, killing one of them. The newspaper reports that Army records show Kreutzer sought psychiatric help more than a year before the attack. After undergoing treatment, he was declared fit for duty and assigned to supervise a stockroom of weapons.
Time now is 10 minutes after 8 o'clock, and coming up, the cleanup stage for homeowners and volunteers begins. Stay tuned and find out what the health hazards are and what you can do to avoid getting sick.
Plus, Brett Martin has advice for flood victims from a building inspector.
That's right. We're down here in the Caddies complex on Plum and Pete Rose Way. Downtown, this entire area was flooded. When the floods came in, the waters have receded. Now it's time for the cleanup. There are a few things like fans and proper cleaning equipment. And you need to talk to a legitimate contractor about inspecting your house if it got wet. We'll talk about it in 2 minutes, so please stay right there.
I'll have the forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. The good news is the river level will be down below flood stage before midnight tonight. We'll do all that as 19 in the morning continues.
If you saw your gently used brand name stroller at Once Upon a Child's great stroller rollout, you'll stroll out with something we could all use a little more of. Once Upon a Child, kid stuff with previous experience.
If you're looking for a stroller, come to Once Upon a Child's great stroller rollout. You'll find great deals on an incredible selection of gently used and new strollers. So stroll into Once Upon a Child and purchase a new umbrella stroller for $4.99 with purchases of $35 or more. Offer good while supplies last.
How do you get the perfect fit? You find fitness. Once you find it, you'll change your life. Get started at Bally Total Fitness right now for only 80 cents a day. Look and feel great in anything you wear. Call 1-800-WORKOUT and become a new member for just 80 cents a day. Join Bally Total Fitness today and get the perfect fit. Do it now.
Hey, I was reading it. Reading what? The ingredients. Okay, what are they? Crunchy little corn balls, no colors, no flavors, no junky stuff. You didn't read that. Yes, I did.
Now kids can get a free Dr. Seuss classic to read with 2 proofs of purchase plus shipping.
Okay, then what does this say? No preservatives.
Kicks, kid tested, mother approved.
Fox 19 is proud to air educational and informational programming for children. These programs are indicated with an EI icon, and the listing of these programs will be included in the station's Children's Educational File. This file will be available for public inspection beginning April 10, 1997. Viewers wishing to review this report may contact WXIX Fox 19 at 421-1919 during regular business hours.
I do ribs like nobody else.
Bo Gardner, barbecue caterer.
My sauce is something special, but it's messy.
There's no way I can show up at a party with dirty linens.
I've tried a lot of things.
Tough stains need something special.
Tide with Bleach has a special ingredient we call knobs that activates its patented bleaching system, so it's unbeatable on tough stains compared to other leading detergents with bleach, and it helps keep colors bright.
Perfect, every time.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide.
You've got to have the right ingredients, then everything comes out just right.
This portion of 19 in the Morning is brought to you by Trout Dairy.
There are fewer ways to get help in person from the IRS this year. How to get help in today's tax tips. The easiest way to get free tax help may be on the telephone. The IRS closed nearly 100 offices in a cost-cutting move last year and cut back hours at about 400 offices. But the agency promises there will be more toll-free telephone lines available this year. The number to call is 1-800-829-1040 for help. If you don't need to ask questions but just need forms, call 1-800-TAX-FORM. You can also pick up forms at some banks, public libraries, and the post office. Tomorrow's tax tip, new weapons for tangling with the taxman.
Welcome back to 19 in the Morning. If you've had some flood damage in your house or your business, listen to this next story.
Our Brett Martin is live from downtown Cincinnati this morning with some helpful tips on fixing up damaged homes and businesses. And I think you've already given us one of the most important, which is to thoroughly check out your contractor.
Yeah, you really do need to do that. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But really, in a question like that, make sure that you check them out through the Better Business Bureau. Before you put any money down, and we'll probably talk about that in the weeks to come as people start to clean up. But let's go into the cleaning phase again, and I'm here with Robert Becker. We're here at the Caddies Complex, and you've got this beveler down here. What are you doing with this here, Robert? What are we doing?
Well, we're looking at the buckled floors here.
There's a little bit of space between the beveler and the floor. That's kind of obvious with flooding, then, obviously.
The FEMA guideline is if the water's been over the floor 6 inches, then they recommend replacing all the plywood. You can see here I've got a moisture meter that I test the dampness of the wood. We should try and keep the wood down below 19% moisture content in order to keep mildew and fungus. You can see we're well over 20% there, which is going to not be serviceable, and that's why it's all buckled and needs to be replaced.
These businesses are very optimistic that they'll be up and running definitely by Thursday or Friday. We talked to the folks here at Caddies, and they've done a great job of cleaning this place up. Flanagan's and the Spaghetti Factory. We've got a list of things here to look closely for signs of movement, and we'll go ahead and show those. Once again, Robert, if you could reiterate some of the things you need to do to look for movement in your house. What does that mean, really?
Structural damage would be evidenced by gaps between the walls and floors, would be evidenced by maybe new cracks or bulges or leans in your foundation walls. You want to check the basement beams and columns to see if they're twisted or shifted also before you go back into the house and start doing any real work.
Okay, great. And in a few minutes, we'll talk more about contractors not from this area coming in, because that's something that you always have to be careful of. Here's a number to call. If we did not address exactly what you're looking at, you want to call 351-3355 for building questions, and we'll toss it back to you guys right now in the studio.
All right, thanks, Brad. Good advice, always to check out your building contractor, and a lot of people will be doing that in the coming weeks, for sure.
And you know, after all of the floods and then all-day rain yesterday, a lot of people just want to dry out this morning, so we're going to check in with Pat and see if we've got some hope of drying out soon. Pat?
We certainly do. Good news in the forecast, no rain today, and for the next 4 days we'll be dry. That'll give us a lot of help. Doppler radar indicating nothing this morning, and we're okay temperature-wise, about where we should be, with partly cloudy skies, 32 degrees, 30s our dew point, 92% humidity. The winds are now calm. The barometer continues to rise. Satellite picture will show you that storm that moved through yesterday and now is well down to the south. Clear skies over us with a little bit of high pressure trying to sneak in. The 24-hour radar loop indicates all the rain that moved through, about 3/4 of an inch for a lot of the tri-state, up to an inch in some areas. We really don't need that much rain, but it came in and out fairly quickly. It lasted about 7 or 8 hours. This cold front will move through later on tonight. It will move through dryly. It will not pick up any moisture to dump on top of us, so some good news there. Here's the forecast then, the way it reads out for today. It'll be sunny and warmer. Our high temperature will get into the mid-50s, about 55, 56 degrees. Tonight, clear skies, a little bit breezy, and chilly will fall down to about 34. Coming up for tomorrow, partly sunny to partly cloudy, breezy and mild with a high about 52. The 5-day forecast will show you what we got going on for Wednesday. Should be partly cloudy and 58. 63 coming up for Thursday. More rain on the way for Friday. That's the forecast. Let's check in the Fox Flyer. Here's Dan Carroll. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, Pat Barry. And we just found us an accident. This is inbound, the eastbound lane of 74. If you look kind of right towards the middle of your screen there, you can see a couple of cars off to the left-hand lane. An ambulance has just arrived on the scene, and that's going to help slow you up a little bit more. It was already slow going here because of a sun delay inbound 74 all the way to 75. So the sun is really doing a number on traffic this morning. Hey, you want to see some flooding video? Take a look at this. Here's something we haven't seen in a while. This is the Serpentine Wall, and you can just start seeing the outline of the Serpentine Wall, and that really gives you an idea of just how much the flooding has gone down there. And don't forget, Columbia Parkway, River Road, and the 6th Street Viaduct all open for you this morning, so that's going to make life a little bit easier. That is the very latest, once again, live in the Fox Flyer. I'm Dan Carroll. Let's go back to the studio now, and my friend Don Teague is standing by.
All right. Well, thank you very much, my friend Dan Carroll. Our time now is 8:20, and coming up, Philip Van Adder, a lead detective in the O.J. Simpson murder trial, joins us to explain the mystery behind the evidence.
Still lots more ahead on 19 in the morning. We'll be right back.
Waiting tables gets pretty hectic, but it's easier now that I don't need glasses all the time. I had my nearsightedness reduced. My glasses were always getting fogged, dirty, sliding down. but my vision was improved. I didn't even miss work. Best of all, it was something I could afford with easy monthly payments. It's really made work a whole lot easier.
Call the Midwest Eye Center, the leaders in refractive surgery at 385 Eyes.
For over 15 years, Alfred Motors has successfully provided people with good quality cars. Maybe it's because of their no-pressure sales policy.
They told me to take my time and look around. I like that.
Or because they never require a credit check.
They treated me right, and I got the respect that I deserve.
Or maybe it's because of their large selection and quick delivery.
I picked out my car, and in 30 minutes, I drove away.
Maybe that's why 60% of their customers come back to buy again. Alfred Motors, where job plus down payment equals car.
Arby's famous slow oven-roasted beef, piled high on a toasted sesame seed roll, served with your choice of mouth-watering sauces. And Arby's famous roast beef sandwich is now only 99 cents.
What? Arby's regular roast beef sandwich is only 99 cents? You gotta be kidding! Why didn't you tell me that? 99-cent roast beef sandwiches at Arby's, that's unbelievable! Oh, that tender roast beef smothered in horsey sauce and all for only 99 cents? This is great. Come on, we gotta go.
Ain't no fooling around with this. Ain't no fooling around with that. I've been cooking for a long, long time, and this is where it's at.
Make the big change to the creamy side dish. Velveeta shells and cheese.
There's gonna be a change on the table. There's gonna be a new side right away. There's gonna be a big change.
This portion of 19 in the Morning is brought to you by Trout Dairy.
As river levels finally begin to drop below flood stage in the tri-state, the cleanup effort is now getting underway in a big way. And we want to remind you this morning of some of the health and safety hazards you'll run into in flood-damaged buildings. Our guest is Matt Klein, a professional engineer with experience in this sort of thing. And Matt, thank you for joining us this morning. First of all, do you think people underestimate the dangers that they face? I mean, after all, it's easy to look and go, well, this is just a bunch of mud and water.
If you take a look at what's being shown on the news broadcasts, I know they're underestimating it. We know that mud contains health hazards as far as biological hazards, mold and bacteria, and possibly other agents. We know that it could contain chemical hazards. And I'm seeing people without respirators who are shoveling this material. There was actually someone on a competing news station last night who was talking about the bacterial levels in the mud. And in the background, you see all the dust from the mud blowing around, and people are breathing this stuff.
Right, and certainly a dangerous situation to get into. What I want to do is to sort of make this easier to understand, we're going to put a graphic up that sort of splits this into three areas of what you consider the major dangers. We have inside flooded buildings safety hazards, and also biological hazards, and then psychological hazards. Why don't you start with safety hazards? What are we talking about there?
Safety hazards, we're mainly talking about cutting and tripping hazards. When the flood goes down, there's going to be a lot of debris left, a lot of mud left. When people walk into that for the first time, they have to be aware that there are hidden hazards in there. There might be electrical wires that are down. If a wire is down, it doesn't necessarily short out. It could be energizing mud or pools of water. People have to be very cautious about stepping in any mud that they go into. Make sure the power is out before you go into a building. And then when you go in, if you have a nice layer of mud on the floor, I'd encourage people to shuffle walk so that they don't step down on top of something.
Right. Now, how about the rubber boots? Are they providing an extra insulation layer against the electricity as well?
I would not count on that.
Okay.
Because there's the possibility there's leaks in the boot that can conduct electricity right through the boot.
On to the biological hazards. You mentioned some of these. I understand a lot of fecal matter that was in the river, which is now in the water and the mud.
That is probably the one that the health department is focusing on the most. But when the water gets inside of wall cavities, you're going to have a lot of areas that are damp that haven't been damp before. there's probably fungal spores in there. They're everywhere. But there have been many, many cases of buildings that have had water problems inside water cavities that have grown mold, and some of that mold is toxigenic.
Okay. We just have about 30 seconds, and I want to make sure we address some of the psychological hazards.
We're talking about a very stressful situation here, and people are, they're in a very irritating situation. They've had their lives turned upside down, and now they're faced with problems of trying to get everything straightened out. Those psychological hazards can both wear on causing physiological problems, but also they can cause problems such as rushing, trying to get things done too quick. And when people rush and when they are under stress, accident rates go up.
Right, which is why it's a good idea. We heard another person out with Brett or Ann saying use the buddy system. Don't go in by yourself, because someone else can double check and look at your decisions.
I totally agree.
Well, Matt, thank you very much. Good advice
this morning.
Thank you for having me. We appreciate you stopping by. Our time now is 8:26. Still ahead, the lead investigator in the O.J. Simpson case, Philip Van Etter. He's going to join us to talk about the police evidence that was never presented during the trial of the century. You're watching 19 in the Morning.
Our brain stores thousands of thoughts, ideas, and memories every day. So it's no wonder that sometimes it can become difficult to remember and focus. If you knew that Ginkai Ginkgo tablets were proven by clinical testing to improve your memory and concentration, ask yourself, what am I doing to improve my memory? Call 1-800-92-PROOF to find out about Ginkai. Ginkai, proven to improve memory and concentration. Proven for life.
It's time to go to the dentist.
Nah, don't listen to her. We got better things to do.
You know, postponing could mean costly, painful procedures down the road.
Worry about it later. You still got your teeth.
Oh, not for long if you don't go to the dentist.
Yeah, well, trying to find a dentist is a pain in the butt.
Not so. 1-800-DENTIST makes finding a dentist easy.
You always have to have the last word, don't you?
Uh-huh.
1-800-DENTIST. The last word when it comes to finding a pre-screened dentist in your area. Call today.
Harmon, Davis, and Keys Law Firm. With legal experience you can depend on. Harmon, Davis, and Keys can assist you with cases involving divorce, DUI, auto accidents, criminal litigation, and bankruptcy. Rely on Harmon, Davis, and Keys' outstanding legal representation when it comes to wills, estates, sports and entertainment contracts, and workers' compensation. When you need legal counsel, call the law firm that can make a difference for you. Harmon, Davis, and Keys.
And all that jazz. Come on, babe, I know a whoopee spot where the gin is cold, but the piano's hot. It's just a noisy hall where there's a nightly brawl. And all that jazz.
Charge by phone 241-7469. A Fifth Third Bank Broadway Series presentation.
That jazz.
Welcome back, everyone. Our time now is 8:29. Time for a wrap of the 19 News headlines this morning. The Ohio River is getting ready to crest in western Indiana, but damage in other parts of the tri-state has already been done. 18 people are now dead in Kentucky and 5 in Ohio. The most recent casualty is 27-year-old Jerry Beiersdorfer, who was found in a Falmouth field on Sunday afternoon. More than 5,600 homes are damaged or destroyed in the state of Ohio alone. Damage in Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia is now estimated at $500 million. 6 disaster recovery centers in Adams, Brown, Hamilton, Lawrence, and Scioto counties will be open tomorrow to answer questions from flood victims. The centers will be open 7 days a week now from 10 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock in the evening. But officials are urging people to call ahead and apply for help before going in. The number to call is 1-800-462-9029. And a supermarket tabloid is stirring up more controversy with its plans to print new pictures of the JonBenet Ramsey murder case, or the murder scene. The Globe claims the photos will, quote, trace the killer's footsteps from the 6-year-old's bedroom to to the basement where her body was found. The Globe says the photos were obtained legally and will not interfere with the police investigation. Time now to check in with Pat Berry for today's Cincinnati scene and a look at the all-important extended forecast. Pat?
All right, thank you very much, Don. Cincinnati scene this morning, and it is, as I understand, a live scene. And anyone? I got no clue. I don't have any idea. It's kind of tall, though, and looks like it's got maybe a hole in it. We'll check it out. Are those fingers? I don't know. Looks maybe the sunshine, too. Who knows? Let me show you what we look like right now. A Doppler radar indicating no precipitation at all. So some good news there. We won't have any today or tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday. Here's what it looks like right now with partly cloudy skies. We're at 32 degrees. 30s our dew point. Winds are calm. Barometer is rising. Satellite picture will show you what's happened over the past 24 hours. We'll put the satellite picture into motion. The clear skies for us. The clouds down to the south along with the front. No longer a problem for us. This front it looks like we're going to be pretty good as we head into the next couple of days. Here's the rain that moved through, and boy, it was a lot of it. The only good news is it moved through very quickly. We do have a cold front that will move in tonight. It will not trigger showers, just some cooler temperatures for tomorrow. Forecast for today looks like this. It will be mostly sunny, warmer, the mid-50s for the high. Tonight, clear skies and chilly and breezy, a low of 34. Tomorrow should be a partly sunny to partly cloudy day, about 52 for the high. 5-day forecast will show you the definitely no rain all the way through Thursday. In fact, by Thursday, we should be in the low 60s. That's the forecast. Let's check in with Dan Carroll. He has traffic for us live from the Fox Flyer. Good morning, Dan.
Thank you very much, Pat Berry. Looking at traffic in Newtown and going across Newtown to Worcester Pike, and you're doing okay there as you get across the Newtown Bridge. 32 is still closed between Newtown Road and Clough Pike. The water is off the road there, but I imagine they have some inspecting of the roadway to do. Also a little bit of debris left to clean up off of there. Beachmont Levee is moving around just fine. So is 275 as you come across Coney Island and River Downs. 74 inbound is slow between North Bend and the 75 split. Let's jump out the MetroCam very quickly, and we'll take a look at the 6th Street Viaduct. A little bit of a 19 Broadcast Plaza right there. 6th Street Viaduct, River Road, all open. So is Columbia Parkway, Pete Rose Way, and Eastern for you this morning. That's the very latest live in the Fox Flyer. I'm Dan Carroll. Let's go back to the studio and get the answer to the Cincinnati scene.
Thank you very much, Dan. We'll check out the Cincinnati scene this morning. And anybody have any? I thought maybe the bottom part of it showed something around, and it could have been rays from sunshine or something. I have no idea. But let's take a look at it. Oh, indeed, it's the Museum Center, the Children's Museum Center down there at the Longworth Hall, and they are starting to clean it out. And a lot of it, about 20-25%, about a fourth of it there on the first floor. And the cleanup continues. They could probably use your help, too. Let's go back to Don once again.
Sounds good, Pat. Thank you. Well, coming up next, he was a major part in the trial of the century. Find out why Philip Van Adder really thinks O.J. Simpson was found innocent. But first, here are the winning numbers from the Ohio and Kentucky lottery drawings.
Honey Nut Cheerios, and they're all for me.
Nobody can say no to Honey Nut Cheerios. No, you can't say no to the Honey Nut O's in Honey Nut Cheerios.
With real golden honey and toasty, crunchy O's, they're absolutely irresistible.
Nobody can say no to the Honey Nut O's in Honey Nut Cheerios. No, you can't say no to Honey Nut Cheerios.
Everybody loves this stuff.
Is your credit history holding you back? If you're a homeowner, Mr. Cash can help. Hi, I'm Billy Packer. You know, for 10 years, Mr. Cash has helped people with less than perfect credit meet their financial needs. Our home equity loans come with affordable budgets, and the interest is usually tax deductible. Homeowners, set yourself free from past credit difficulties. Call Mr. Cash today at 1-800-444-CASH.
we asked people to try a pasta dinner.
That's very good taste.
It was something like you make at home. Emily ate it, and she doesn't eat anything. It just made me feel good. Comfort food. Do you like that?
That's something that I could eat 2 nights a week.
The noodles aren't all smushy. It's good. I'm going to buy some of that today if you tell me what it is.
Okay, it's Hamburger Helper.
No way.
Is it really?
Oh, wow. That's great. I like it. I would buy Hamburger Helper. Are all the other flavors as good as this? I'm impressed.
It's been quite a while since I've tried Hamburger Helper. I think I need to try it again.
I'm sold. Yeah.
So soft, so soft, you love it. Just one touch of it. You know Downy does it. So soft on your skin. Just come on in.
Feel Downy's softness even when your line dry. Mid-price brands can leave clothes stiffer. Only Downy gives the most fluffy softness and Downy's freshness.
So soft, you love it. Only Downy does it. Come on in to Downy.
Probably the two people that know the most about the O.J. Simpson case are detectives Philip Van Adder and Tom Lang. The two worked around the clock collecting a mound of evidence in the case against O.J. Simpson, certain that a conviction of the former football star was inevitable. But that wasn't the case. O.J. was found not guilty in the murders of his ex-wife Nicole and Ronald Goldman. Well, Van Adder and Lang say much of their tireless work, investigative work, never made it to the criminal trial, and out of that frustration came evidence dismissed, the inside story of the police investigation of O.J. Simpson. In the book, Van Adder and Lang walk readers through the crime scene. They take them on the now famous slow-speed chase, as well as explain some of their controversial decisions in the investigation. Philip Van Adder joins us now to tell us more about his book. Thanks for coming on the show. And you are minus your partner in crime, shall we say. You say that this book is kind of a bridge between the O.J. Simpson criminal trial and his civil trial. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's for the first time, Tom and I are able to tell people what really happened. All these books that have been written are all outsider books, and they have made these horrible allegations against us and about our investigation, and we felt we needed to come out and tell the truth on it, and that's why we wrote the book.
What would you say is the most convincing pieces of evidence that were left out of the trial? A lot of people don't know this.
Well, number one, the statement. The statement was used very extensively during the civil trial to impeach Simpson while he was on the stand. And number two, the Bronco chase. I mean, there was some very, very incriminating evidence in the statements that he made to Tom on the telephone.
Now, you talk about the statement. This is the day after the murders.
Yes.
Explain what happened there.
Well, we felt that he was involved in it, but we had no concrete evidence that he was involved. And our talk with him was an interview, not an interrogation.
And you were quite surprised that his attorney just gave you free rein.
I was shocked. It was like a birthday gift. I've never seen an attorney willingly let a client talk to the police. And we got some great admissions from him. I mean, he admitted that the blood at Rockingham was his, and he admitted driving the Bronco, and there was a lot of inconsistencies in the statement.
Now, this interview, critics have called this as hardball as a celebrity interview with Larry King. So why didn't you try to pin O.J. Simpson down to his whereabouts and, for instance, the cuts on his finger?
Well, we did. We did. We got him to admit that he had cut his finger that evening. As far as trying to pin him down about his whereabouts, we got 3 or 4 different stories from him, inconsistencies about that evening. And that was the important thing. But, you know, the real reason for our talk the way we talked with him was we knew the case revolved around blood. And we knew that he could get up at any time and walk out. He could have invoked his constitutional rights and walked away from us. So we knew we had to get the blood, and that was the main reason for that.
Let's show some of those pictures. You have, I've chosen 4 pictures out of the book. The first one, this is Nicole's blood-splattered back.
Yes.
What did you feel was important about showing that?
Well, that was evidence that Tom Lang, now I was not at the scene, but that's evidence, that's blood that does not probably belong to her. And that was chronicled because it could have been the suspect's blood. And now, in California, police cannot do anything with a body. It has to be done by the coroner's office. And Tom, identified that, photographed it, and asked the coroner's office to recover those blood samples. Well, they didn't, and that was a big mistake.
Also, big controversy around the bloody glove. Did Mark Furman place it there? There's a picture of that. Gloves in two different places.
Mark Furman did not place the glove there. That glove, you know, and if you look back, how would he have known that Cato Kalin would have heard the noises outside of his room that evening? And how did we know where O.J. Simpson was? How did we know whether he had a concrete alibi or not? So, no, he didn't plant any evidence. That was dropped by Simpson at the side of his home.
Okay. We're going to take a short break and return with Philip Van Adder to talk more about his book. 19 in the morning. We'll be right back after this.
Tonight, TV's hottest love triangle.
You cheat.
Is about to blow sky high.
You are such a...
Amanda, come on.
Melrose Place.
Then, Peg Bundy's going undercover at a strip joint.
I'm a married man.
Well, I don't care.
Neither do I.
Married with children. And Pauly Shore is a big Hollywood star. But he's about to become the world's greatest spy.
You can scale the fence now.
Tonight, beginning at 8 on Fox 19.
Get ready for slam dunk savings from your Mercury dealer. Score big with this slam and lease on the all-wheel drive V8 power of Mercury Mountaineer. This player's definitely a winner. And check out this all-star lease on Mercury Villager. It has 4 captain's chairs and drives like a car. No wonder it's a crowd pleaser. But hurry, the clock is running down. Get in on these Mercury slam dunk savings before it's all over. Imagine yourself in a Mercury now.
I've got the world on a string, $1 million in my pocket.
Love you, baby, we're here.
Brian and John J.
$1 Million Morning Show.
Here we go. Q102, Cincinnati. Love your show.
You could be a millionaire. Right here. I told you you're going to like that thing tonight. What a show, what a show. Aren't they great?
You've probably noticed all of these commercials about yeast infection treatments. They talk about how effective they are. Even so, if you read the labels, you'll notice there's only one 3-day treatment that comes in the comfortable cream form most women prefer. FemStat 3. It's the only cream out there that treats in 3 days. 3 days? There is no better cure without a prescription. And what could be better than that?
FemStat 3. The cure that fits your life.
Breast cancer can be successfully treated when detected early, and finding it is as easy as having your picture taken. If you're over 65, you're entitled to a mammogram. Medicare covers most of the expense. Your cost is about the same as getting a roll of film developed, so get a mammogram. And when you do, remember to smile, because it's a picture that can save your life.
Ted Danson, Kelly Martin, and Dr. Ruth Westheimer on Fox After Breakfast.
Welcome back to 19 in the morning. We are back talking with lead detective Philip Van Adder about his new book. Of course, we're talking about the O.J. Simpson case. Take us back to the first time that you talked to O.J. after you told him that his wife was murdered. What did you find that was unusual about his reaction?
Well, actually, he was spoken to originally by Ron Phillips on the telephone, and Ron told him that his ex-wife had been killed, and the thing that was unusual was he never asked which one. And then during our conversation with him, he never asked the typical questions that a person would ask. How did it happen? Do you know who did it? Were my kids bothered? How was she killed? He never asked these questions, and that's very, very strange.
Now, Tom Lang spoke with him on the slow-speed Bronco chase.
Yes.
What was going on there?
Well, we had set up a command post in Parker Center. We knew that he was a fugitive at that time, and we had gotten his cellular phone number. So Tom called him.
I think we've got some video of that, don't we? Of the slow-speed chase. Anyway, so...
Yeah, Tom had called him, And, you know, it was really some interesting responses from him during his talk. I mean, the innocent guy would have said, hey, you're framing me, you know. I didn't do it. I didn't kill him. You're trying to frame me. But his response is, you know, I know you're a good cop. I know you're doing your job. And, you know, I deserve whatever happens. And that's really an interesting response from an innocent guy.
Now, you know more about this, about O.J. Simpson and this trial probably than anyone else, you and Tom Lang. Why is it that you think that jurors didn't convict him in the criminal trial?
I think that goes to the political climate of the city of Los Angeles. You know, LAPD has had a bad reputation in the city for a long time, and it's not deserved. Obviously, you know, all police departments draw from the same pool, the human race, so you're going to have good people as well as bad people. And, you know, it goes back to incidences like the Rodney King incident and the riots in the city, and I think this jury felt that they needed to send a message to the police department, and I think that's what they did.
If you had to pick one person out of the criminal trial, who do you blame for the not guilty verdict?
Well, I don't know that you can pick one person and blame them strictly for the not guilty verdict. The person that I have a problem with is Mark Furman became the trigger that allowed Johnny Cochran to refocus the purpose of this trial from a brutal double murder to a racial trial of the Los Angeles Police Department, and he probably had a big hand in it.
Lots of evidence, and of course, the basis of your book, that didn't make it to the criminal trial.
Lots of evidence, yes.
For instance, a witness seeing O.J. Simpson withdraw his arm from a trash bin in LAX. That was just one of the many things.
Well, yeah, and at the conclusion of the Bronco chase, we found Nicole's keys in his travel bag that she had complained about being stolen from her a week to 10 days earlier to her mother. That's a very compelling piece of evidence also. And, you know, there were many, many things that should have been put in. The Bronco chase itself, the disguise that was found in his travel bag, the passport, the amount of money they were carrying, that's all very, very strong evidence.
What did you think about the fact that the interview that we talked about earlier, the day after the murders, that transcript was available to the people in the criminal trial, that they used that, but actually the civil trial, but not in the criminal trial?
Well, we had spoken, Tom and I spoke with Marcia extensively about that. I felt that was very compelling evidence, and she felt, I believe, that it was a double-edged sword, that he never actually come out and said, I did it. But if you really analyze it, there was a lot of real good admissions in that statement and contradictions.
If you could do one thing over in thinking back, of course, hindsight is always 20/20, in all of that investigation, what would it be?
I would have sent Mark Furman home early if I would have known his background. The first time I had ever met him. Obviously, there were things that we could have done to diffuse some of the defense arguments, but they would have come up with something else. I mean, we stand by the investigation, and it was used in the civil trial. And the jurors come back and said that it was proven to them beyond a shadow of a doubt, so it was a good investigation.
Well, we should mention that you have a book signing tonight at Rookwood Pavilion. The book, again, Evidence Dismissed, The Inside Story of the Police Investigation of O.J. Simpson at Joseph Beck Booksellers, Rookwood Pavilion, tonight, 7 to 8 o'clock. And you're now in VB, Indiana, out of L.A. You glad about that?
Yes, I am. You know, the area is so nice, and the thing that makes it so nice is the people. The people are genuine people, and they're friendly, and they don't have a motive for being friendly. And in Los Angeles, you always question that.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right,
Yeah.
Philip Van Adder, interesting conversation.
Thank you very
book.
much.
Time is 8:48, and it's still to come. We're going to check back with, well, Brett Martin, who's down near Pete Rose Way this morning, where many businesses are digging in to try and clean up the remnants of the flood of '97.
That's right, Alex. I'm here inside of Flanagan's. They've been scrambling to get things ready. Let me just give you a juxtaposition of what's happening here. This is where the floodwaters were. You can see where some of this board is warped out. They're going to have to clean some of this out. They've taken some of the oak wood floor out of here, obviously, because of the floods. In a few minutes, more helpful tips if your home is flooded, so stay right there.
It's time to explore the difference on Route 4 with the freshest new cars in town at Performance Mitsubishi in Fairfield. Now, see and test drive the all-new redesigned Performance Mitsubishi Mirage, the all-new redesigned Performance Mitsubishi Diamante, the must-see Performance Mitsubishi Spider Convertible, and setting new standards, the new Performance Mitsubishi Montero Sport. They're all here and they're built for living at your #1 Mitsubishi dealer, Performance Mitsubishi, in the heart of the Route 4 Auto Market in Fairfield. Take one home today.
Hi, honey.
Hey, how's your checkup?
Fine.
Really?
Yeah, the heart's good.
And your cholesterol?
Good. You know, the doctor said the healthy diet is paying off.
See? You better keep eating those Cheerios.
As part of a heart-healthy diet, the FDA says soluble fiber from whole grain oat foods like Cheerios may reduce the risk of heart disease. Cheerios is the only leading ready-to-eat cereal that meets this FDA standard.
I always knew you had a good heart.
You did?
That's why I married you.
I thought you married me because I was good looking.
The one and only Cheerios.
If you're getting married, you must visit David's Bridal for the largest selection of designer wedding gowns. And this week, you'll save up to $300 on the wedding gown of your dreams during the $99 sale at David's Bridal.
$99?
Find selected wedding gowns on sale for only $99. Plus, every other wedding gown, thousands in stock, reduced $50 to $300. For a limited time only, call toll-free 1-888-302-3500 for your appointment.
Every gown on sale.
Every gown in stock reduced for this fantastic event.
Designer gowns, not designer prices.
Plus, enter to win an all-inclusive week-long honeymoon at Caesars Pocono Resorts. You must call for an appointment for this tremendous event at David's Bridal. Call toll-free 1-888-302-3500. That's 1-888-302-3500. Consultants are ready to make your appointment now. Don't miss the biggest event of the year. Every gown reduced.
What a great sale.
Well, welcome back to 19 in the Morning. You know, all morning long, we've been giving you some helpful tips on how to safely remodel your flooded out home.
That's right. It's been very important information. And Brett Martin joins us again live from downtown with more important information. And it's good to see a lot of hard hats behind you there, Brett.
Yeah, these folks are from Turner Construction, and they're actually working on the floor. They had to tear out the entire Oakwood floor here at Flanagan's, and they're scrambling to get ready for the opening baseball season, which is, of course, April 1st. That'll be a Tuesday. They've got a lot of work cut out for them. They're over here. A lot of folks out there, they're obviously not going to be able to have a construction group come in here and fix their place up, but there are some good things to talk about, and I wanted to show you right now. We showed you right before the break what happened here with this. Robert, come over here and tell me, this is quite common. We showed the floors get warped. Obviously, this gets warped. Do you recommend they probably tear this out?
Once it's buckled this badly, you have to. You know, first you need to get the mud out, and then as they've done here, get any carpeting, flooring, padding, all of that away. Get the ceiling off the basement or the lower level so that you can get the wood to dry out as quickly as possible.
Okay. All morning long, we've been giving you a list of ideas and things. Let's go ahead and show some more stuff for you guys out there who are taking some notes. We got some things right here. Okay. What are we looking at? What are some things to talk about? Dry out and disinfect quickly. Tell me about that.
Well, we need to get some blowers or fans. You can turn your furnace fan on. Actually, you have a switch on most of your furnaces to turn it on and leave the fan switch on. You can turn the heat up to above 75 degrees. Will certainly help to dry it out. Disinfect it with either some diluted vinegar, white vinegar, or sodium hypochlorite type cleaner. A lot of the household cleaners have that in them to try and get rid of some of the mildew and fungus and bacteria.
How about turning your heat up? Is that also a good idea as well?
You need some extra heat in there, and that will certainly speed the drying process, but we're still talking about, you know, weeks or months to get things fully dry before you can really come back and refinish.
Okay, a big concern for a lot of folks right now is, maybe there's going to be a contractor from out of town, out of state coming up and knocking on my door, really preying on people. What is some common sense advice for those folks out there who just don't know whether or not they're dealing with a legitimate contractor?
Well, Brett, that happens quite a bit, unfortunately, and certainly a homeowner, a lot of the best contractors are going to be members of the Home Builders Association, but you certainly want to check with the Better Business Bureau and make sure your contractor's got a permanent address here in the area. Reputable contractors wouldn't want to take too much of the money up front. They would give you a written proposal to go through, and obviously before you make any final payments or give them the final check, you want to make sure you got a contractor's affidavit, which certifies that there's not going to be a lien on the property and that all their materialmen and their supplies are paid for.
Okay, appreciate it. You've had some very, very helpful information. I want to give you that phone number. If we didn't get to what you specifically wanted to talk about or listen to, 351-3355 is the number to call if you have any building questions. And more 19 in the morning will continue after these messages. So stay right there.
Check this out. Chalk Dairy has this great new milk. It's called Fat Free, and it's really cool. It tastes like 2%, but without the fat. That means we can drink a lot of it because it's so good for us. It also has 500 milligrams of calcium in each glass for strong bones. Plus, it has AB cultures that will help us digest all that junk we eat. It tastes great, doesn't have any fat, and it has calcium and plus AB. So check it out. Try some fat-free milk from Trout. It's really good, and it's good for you.
Save time and money when you shop at Mike Albert.
Mike Albert makes it simple.
It's March Madness at the Mike Albert Auto Superstore. Cash rebates of $500, $1,000, $1,500, and $2,000. Over 2,000 certified used cars, trucks, and vans. All clearly marked below book. Mike Albert guarantees 100% satisfaction with their incredible 3-day money-back guarantee. And Mike Albert has fast, affordable financing for everyone, guaranteed. Hurry, Mike Albert's March Madness won't last long.
Mike Albert.
This is where your automotive shopping stops.
Mike Albert. For real country sauce, it's the best you've ever tried. Pick up a pound or two of Tennessee Pride.
What makes Tennessee Pride taste so great? Well, it's a special blend of natural spices. It's the best cuts of fresh pork, including the tenderloin. And it's the Odom's family quality in every bite. That's why it tastes great, and that's why we call it Tennessee Pride.
Pick up a pound or two of Tennessee Pride.
Take home a package of Tennessee Pride.
How do you get the perfect fit? You find fitness. Once you find it, you'll change your life. Get started at Bally Total Fitness right now for only 80 cents a day. Look and feel great in anything you wear. Call 1-800-WORKOUT and become a new member for just 80 cents a day. Join Bally Total Fitness today and get the perfect fit. Do it now.
Well, you've already started your week off on a good note by watching 19 in the morning.
That's right, and we'd like you to continue that momentum by tuning into Fox After Breakfast at 9 o'clock this morning with host Tom Bergeron. So let's check in and see what's coming up next.
One today, if I may be so bold, Dr. Ruth Westheimer kicks off a week as my special guest co-host. She is like a walking Kama Sutra. And we are joined by actress Kelly Martin, and also, you know him, you love him, as Sam Malone on Cheers, and also from his new hit sitcom, Inc., Ted Danson, all coming up.
Sounds like fun. We'll be here.
We will be here. And Pat Barry, what do you say about this weather? What have we got to look forward to this week, hopefully?
Going to be dry without any rain, at least until Friday, so some good news there. It's some nice temperatures, some chilly mornings down to the 30s for the next couple days, but the mid-50s today and 52 tomorrow. 58 on Wednesday, a little warmer Thursday, but a likelihood of seeing some rain on Friday. The river level right here in Cincinnati, the flood stage at 52 feet. We're at 54.3 right now. Should be below the flood stage before midnight tonight. Sometime during the evening, it'll fall below that and continue to do that. Lady called, wanted to know when it would be 47 feet. She could get back in her place at that point. It looks like it would be sometime late Tuesday or early Wednesday before you can get back in there before it falls to 47 feet.
Still a much better start of the week this Monday than last Monday.
Certainly. Right.
I'll be thankful for that. Well, all right, thanks, Pat, and thank you all for joining us. And we're going to be back here tomorrow morning at 6:30.
We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Hello?
Morning, Daddy.
Hi, honey.
Ready for your presentation?
Actually, Daddy's a little nervous.
We know just what you need.
Room service? You ordered me room service?
2 scoops ahead. You're gonna be 2 scoops ahead.
Nothing prepares you for a big day like the hearty goodness of 2 scoops, only from Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Ready now, Daddy?
I'll give you 2 guesses.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran will start you 2 scoops ahead.
Hi, I'm
prime Lincoln wear with my good friend Angelo. Hey, Angelo, what's the news I'm hearing all over town?
Well, it's Best Choice Financial. You know, we really make car buying easy.
Everywhere else I shopped, they made me wait for financing. But at Best Choice, they gave me a car loan on the spot. And credit, no problem. At Best Choice, it was easy.
It was so easy, and they even customized my payments for me.
Auto America will help you select the car that you want. So don't delay. Call us right now at Best Choice Financial.